It's like, welcome to Holistic Kids Show. My name is Zane, and
my name's Abdullah. We are here. We are the Holistic Kids, and here to educate and empower us kids from the inside out.
We are so excited to start this journey with all of you. And this is our first episode. Yay!
Today it is our honor to talk to someone that is seriously changing the face of medicine to save our future, Miss Beth Lambert.
My mom talks about her all the time, and you will too after hearing this interview.
Author, educator, and former healthcare consultant, Beth Lambert has monitored and documented the escalating rates of childhood chronic conditions for nearly a decade. Her first book, Compromised Generations, describes the what and why of this health crisis and how we can fix it. Beth is also the co-author of Brain Under Attack, a resource for parents and caregivers of children with PANS, PANS, and PANDAS, PANDAS, and autoimmune encephalitis, whatever it's called. Encephalitis. Okay. Beth is the founder and executive director of Epidemic Answers, the nonprofit organization dedicated to help kids live healthy lives. She is also the creator and executive producer of the Documenting Hope Project, an organization dedicated to healing chronic conditions in children. Beth is the mother of 3 children and is passionate about raising awareness about the connection between daily choices, human health, the health of our planet.
Just like us.
Welcome, Miss Beth Lambert. So excited. Seriously, this is going to be so much fun.
This is going to be so much fun. I'm so excited to be spending this time with you guys.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's dive in because I am seriously concerned right now. 1 in every 2nd child is sick, and it is projected that in another 5 years, 80% of children will be sick. That's crazy.
I know, right? Okay, and 1 in 4 will have autism by 2033. I don't know about you, Zan, but those are scary statistics. Miss Lambert, what's going on today?
Is that any different?
Statistics. Sorry, go ahead.
Is that any different from when you're growing up and your mom and you were growing up? And from our mom and you were growing up?
Yeah, when your mom and I were growing up, you didn't really hear about kids being sick very often, right? There weren't that many kids. There might have been one kid you knew who had asthma, or maybe there was a kid who had some kind of autoimmune disease, but it was very rare. And so that was like less than 10% of kids had something. But now you're talking about more than half of kids having some kind of diagnosis. So something must be going on, right? Yeah. So the simplest way to think about it is that there is something in the way we're living, right? How we're living our lives that must be making more kids develop things like asthma and eczema and autoimmune diseases and all these other kinds of conditions that are so common today. So it's really about the choices we're making every day, what we put in our mouth, what we put on our skin, the kinds of sleep we're getting or not getting, and what kinds of activities we do. So it's really about kind of a perfect storm of all these things together that are just making kids not as healthy and vibrant as they could be.
Yeah, so what kind of conditions do kids have anyways?
So the conditions that are really growing at scary rates right now are a lot of conditions like autism and ADHD, where kids can have learning and behavioral and social issues, conditions where their immune systems aren't working quite right, like asthma or eczema, or an autoimmune condition, which is a condition where your immune system basically attacks your own tissues in your body. Those are all escalating. You have about 1 in 8 kids with asthma, and they have a hard time breathing. That's a lot of kids who should be running and climbing trees and having a great time, but those kids need medicine to be able to do those activities, or they're having a hard time so they can't do those activities. And allergies, so many kids have allergies. How many kids do you guys know that have some kind of allergy, like allergy to cats or peanuts or to pollen?
Yeah.
Do you know a lot of kids with allergies?
Most of my class.
Mm-hmm. So it's very common, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are the most common.
Why are so many kids getting sick?
Well, it has to do with things that we're doing today that your mom's generation and the generation before that, like your grandparents, that they didn't do then. So the food we're eating now is different than what your grandparents might have eaten. And there's a lot more chemicals in the environment that are impacting our bodies and making us sick. So, if you think about what's good food, you guys know what good food is, right? Like, what are some examples of some good food to eat? I know you know the answer to this.
Yeah, some examples I think are
veggies,
healthy
protein,
non-GMO foods,
yes,
healthy fat.
Yes, exactly. Because you guys know what healthy food is, right? Because you have a mom that has taught you about healthy food, and you have a healthy family where it's really important to you guys. But not everybody's family has, a really smart mom who's taught them that, and some people don't know what are the healthy foods to eat. And so there's a lot of packaged foods, the things that comes in the box, or the pretty colors, and that are processed and made in factories. And those are the not healthy foods. And those things are what too many kids eat today, right? Like, how many kids in your classroom are eating sort of the packaged stuff as opposed to the healthy stuff, right?
Tell them I don't eat packaged stuff, and they go like crazy. They're like, "What do you mean?"
I know. Well, the packaged stuff tastes good, right? Abdullah, doesn't the packaged stuff taste good? So that's the problem, is that you want to eat the junk food that comes in the package because it tastes good, but you know that it's not good for your body. So you guys know to make different choices, but not everybody necessarily knows to make those choices. So that's a big part of why kids aren't getting what they need to stay healthy. You need lots of nutrition, good nutrition, to make your body strong and healthy, right?
Yeah. Okay. So you talk a lot about total load and how this might make some kids sick. What is total load, and how does it make kids sick?
It's a great question. So total load is an idea where you think of your body as like a barrel, right? Like a bucket. And every time you come in contact with a chemical, so like, like a fragrance or some kind of chemical like lead that might be in a toy or something you might encounter, every single chemical that you come in contact with is like a drop of water in the bucket. And in the modern world, there's a lot of chemicals that we encounter every day in the air, in the water, in our food. And so at some point, your bucket just fills up, has too many drops, and so it overflows. And that's what total load means, is when the total load of all those chemicals and toxins and stressors in your life just become too much for your body to deal with. And then it basically means that the bucket overflows, and then you get symptoms like breathing symptoms or skin symptoms or those kinds of things.
Oh, sorry. The internet broke up.
It does that sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, we're in the basement, so that makes sense.
It's not very good in the basement, is it?
Yeah. Okay.
So when the internet broke up, we were talking about total load. And that's what the idea, you guys asked about that, right? And that's just the idea that your body has too many stressors or too many toxins or too many chemicals, and your body doesn't want chemicals, right? The human body was not designed to deal with chemicals. And total load is when your body has too many chemicals and too many things that are not good for it. And that's when you start getting sick.
Yeah, it's getting bombarded from both sides.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So, what are some ways that kids can get better? What are some of the things that parents and kids can do every day to stay healthy?
Those are great questions. Sometimes, a lot of times people don't even know that kids can get better, right? They think that, well, if you have a diagnosis like diabetes, you're always going to have it. Or if you have eczema, you're always going to have it. But that's not true. If you actually change the things that you eat and you change the things that you do every day, your body can heal and can get better. And so you don't have those symptoms anymore. You don't have that diagnosis anymore. So some of the things that kids do to get healthy is they change their diet. Remember, we were talking about all those healthy foods. So if you pick the healthy foods instead of the processed junk foods, that's one way. Another way is to get a lot of sleep. And, one of the problems with living in the modern world today is that we all like to stay up late and watch something on Netflix or yes, exactly. Or play computer games or whatever. And it's so easy if you have a computer or a TV just to stay up late and not really put the importance on sleep that we should. So kids need a lot of sleep, especially, right? So that's another way that kids can stay healthy is by getting a good, solid amount of sleep every night and exercise, right? Exercise, you guys know how important that is, right? You got to move your body, right?
Yes.
And also about another one that's really important that I know your mom teaches you about is gratitude, right? And tell me, what do you guys know about gratitude? I know your mom talks about that a lot.
So, gratitude is like calm.
Yeah, like you have to be grateful because we're living in such a world of negativity. We have to keep ourselves positive.
And that's a really important part of staying healthy. A lot of people don't know that or don't think about it, but really being thankful and feeling grateful for the little things even in your life, right? That's a way to stay positive and to keep your mind and your body healthy as well.
Yeah, because negativity can make us sick and cause stuff like stress. You have to be grateful for all the things you actually have.
Negativity can make us sick.
Yes.
That's a big one, you guys. That's a really big one. And, I know you have positive attitudes. I've heard you sing the gratitude song before, too.
Yeah.
Really good. Every kid should learn the gratitude song, don't you think?
Yeah.
They should.
Okay. So,
let's answer one question.
Wait. Okay, so you talk a lot about the importance of gut bugs and to your health. What are gut bugs and how do they impact your health?
Yeah, so most people don't know that there are trillions of microorganisms or little bugs that live in and around your body. They live on your skin, they live on your eyelashes, they live in your gastrointestinal tract. Like that's where the food goes in and you digest it, but it's filled with bacteria and other kinds of little bugs. Some of the bugs, sometimes we think of bugs like a bacteria, we think they're bad, right? Like they're going to make us sick. But there's so many more bugs out there, or bacteria, that actually keep us healthy, and they live in your gut. So one of the things we have to do is make sure we don't just feed ourselves healthy food, but we have to feed the pets we have in our gut. They're like little bacteria pets, right? We have to feed them the food that they love and the food that they think is healthy. So do you guys know what kinds of food gut bugs might like? What do you think?
Yeah, they might like vegetables, like all those good foods that we talked about earlier. They like those, and do you know any others then?
Yeah, they also like
veggies, proteins.
Yeah, sauerkraut.
Yes, that's a good one. Sauerkraut's a great food, and the gut bugs love the sauerkraut.
Yeah,
and all the foods like fruits and vegetables, like apples and bananas and celery and carrots and lettuces and kale and Swiss chard. All those things have a lot of fiber in them, and the gut bugs love fiber, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what's important about those gut bugs is they actually, when they get to eat the fiber, they help make good chemicals that help keep your brain healthy. They help make good chemicals that keep your immune system strong. So if you want to be healthy, you have to make sure your little pets inside your gastrointestinal tract, inside your gut, those guys have to be healthy too. So it's kind of like caring, like if you had a cat or a dog or a fish, you would feed it the food that it needs to stay healthy, right? And it's the same thing with the gut bugs in your belly.
Yeah. So Wait, so when things go out of line, there's something called leaky gut, which is when that there are more bad bugs than the good bacteria in the gut. So the bad bacteria don't do their job well, or they don't do their job well and let things through that should not be getting through.
That's
So,
right, Abdullah.
Yeah.
Go on. That's good.
So the army in the gut is waiting for them waiting for them and attacks them, which leads to an inflammatory response. This inflammation, if it goes to your skin, it can cause eczema or acne. If it goes to your sinuses, it can cause sinus issues and allergies. If it goes to your brain, it can cause anxiety and depression and even autism.
Yeah, you said a big word, inflammation, which is kind of like fire, right? And in different parts of your body can be not really on fire, because that would be scary.
Yeah.
But it's like an inside fire, right? Like it's a fire inside your body, and you don't want to have that fire there too often, because like you said, it'll create all these symptoms. And also, like you said, the bacteria in your gut, they create like a carpet that like protects your gut lining, right? And if you have not enough of the good gut bacteria and too much of the bad gut bacteria, that carpet gets kind of grimy and it gets holes in it. And then it creates what you said, leaky gut. You don't want that to happen. Oh, I think I lost you guys again. I think we got basement internet problems.
Yeah. The internet, I think.
I can hear you now.
Yeah. So the fire in our body created. Good. So the fire in our body created by our immune system as it tries to get rid of infections or heal us from trauma. But there are actually two types of inflammation. Good inflammation, which is also called acute inflammation, which is a quick response to injury and bad bacteria to fix what is wrong. Like if you accidentally fall and get a little bruise or a scratch, so those are fixed quickly. But the bad inflammation, chronic inflammation, is when your body has a constant fire because of constant stimuluses that don't stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a really good point. There's a big difference. Like you want some inflammation if your body has something it has to deal with, like it gets a fever. That's like a good kind of inflammation to deal with maybe a bad bacteria, right? And so we're glad and grateful that our body has that mechanism. But if the inflammation continues, then on an ongoing basis, then your body gets all worn out, because when you have inflammation, it actually uses up a lot of nutrients in your body, a lot of things like resources in your body. And so if you keep using that all up and you don't replace it with other good nutrients, then your body really starts to break down. And that's when you start getting sick, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So this chronic inflammation is what is causing us all to be sick, right?
Right, exactly. So it doesn't matter what you hear diagnoses, it doesn't matter what the diagnosis is. Like, if, you have a friend who has allergies, or you have a friend who has diabetes, or if you have a friend who has ADHD or depression or anxiety, there's all these different names that people, use to talk about people not feeling well. It doesn't matter what the name is, there is inflammation. If they're having symptoms, regular symptoms, then it means they have inflammation. So that kind of bad kind of fire is something that they need to take care of.
Yeah.
So if we can lower the bad inflammation that is leading to disease and kids getting sick, then kids can get healthier, right?
That's right, exactly. And some other ways you can get rid of inflammation or help your body deal with the inflammation is to eat certain kinds of foods that that are anti-inflammatory. That's a big word that means that they fight the inflammation, or they help your body deal with the inflammation. So some foods that most kids like like blueberries can help with that, or there's different like pomegranates or yummy kind of fruit that kids like that actually can help with that inflammation, right? So there's all kinds of things that you can do that are, it's not taking a medicine, it's not doing anything complicated, it's eating delicious food that helps your body fight the inflammation. Isn't that cool? You're back. You guys are playing hide and seek with me. That's what you're doing. It's internet hide and seek.
Yeah. Okay, so what are other things that we can do to get healthy?
Move. You can move your body. Do you guys know some things that you can do that are healthy ways to move your body? Like, what are some things that you guys would do to keep your body healthy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like sports?
Yeah,
Or have you ever done any yoga?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not yet, at least. We do lots of sports, though.
Lots of sports. The sports are a really important way of keeping your body healthy because actually, remember we were talking about inflammation? You know, the number one way to fight inflammation is exercise. So if you play baseball or soccer, or you like to run or climb trees, you're actually fighting inflammation. How cool is that? You don't even have to do anything painful or terrible. You just have to have fun. You just have to go outside and run around and have fun, and you're fighting inflammation. And that's pretty cool.
I know. Okay, so most kids today are insulin resistant. Insulin is a hormone that helps to regulate our blood sugar. In order for glucose to enter the cell, you need insulin to act like the key to open up the door. But because kids are eating too much processed foods with too much sugar and chemicals, and this with too much sugar and chemical and leaving with chronic stress, this leads to your body ignoring the insulin, leading to insulin resistance or prediabetes. This can cause symptoms like being tired, irritable, acne, weight gain around the belly, and more.
So will eating food really help us balance our hormones?
Like real foods.
It's eating real food, right? The right kind of food that will help us balance. So have you guys ever noticed that sometimes when people have lunch at school and they have class after lunch, the kids can kind of get a little sleepy, and sometimes you can feel a little groggy after eating lunch. That means you need to sort of regulate your blood sugar better. And the ways to do that are making sure you eat enough healthy fats and proteins. And when you do eat vegetables and fruit, which have sugars in them, you have to make sure that the sugars come with fiber. So that's why if you're going to eat fruits and vegetables, you want to eat the whole fruit and vegetable as opposed to like a fruit juice where there's no fiber, right? Fruit juice is delicious, but it's just the sugar from the fruit and no fiber. So the ways to make sure your hormones are balanced and your blood sugar is balanced is to eat healthy fats, clean sources of protein. Clean means, like fish that was wild caught, for instance, or pastured, which means animals that grew up on grass rather than in sort of a factory farm. Healthy kinds of protein. That's going to make sure that you don't develop that insulin resistance. And also exercise can help with that too. Again, another reason to go outside and play. If you go out and play, you're working on fighting insulin resistance too. So movement, sleep, exercise, like all this stuff we've been talking about, that helps fight insulin resistance. How cool is that? It's not like it's hard. It's easy, fun stuff.
Yeah, it's super easy. Okay, so next is
So we should eat foods that are nutrient dense, balance our gut, and balance our hormones.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Nutrient dense. You know what that means? That means you want to eat foods that have a lot of vitamins and minerals in them, right? So a lot of the foods that are made that come from factories, they like chop them up a lot and they put them through machines and they take out all the vitamins and nutrients, right? So those aren't going to be nutrient dense foods. The most nutrient dense foods are the ones that are whole, real foods, and like, you know, the dark leafy greens like kale and spinach. Those are nutrient dense foods, right? And that's super, super good for your body.
So what kind of food should we avoid?
Oh, that's a good question. Anything that has a fake color or fake flavor. Can you think of something that lots of kids eat that has like fake colors or fake flavors in it?
Dum-dum.
Dum-dums. Yeah, like candy, right? Candy is pretty much sugar and fake flavors and fake colors a lot of times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then how about things like Doritos?
Yeah.
Like color or Cheetos? What color is in there?
It's like an
orangish kind of.
Yeah, did they get that from oranges, do you think? Is it a real?
No, it's too
Where's
vibrant.
that orange come from? Where does it come from?
Good question. Where does it come from?
I don't know.
It comes from like a factory, right? Like it's a chemical they put on the food. Who wants to eat that? Nobody wants to eat that, right?
Yeah, but they make it like vibrant in color, so it attracts. But obviously, that's oranges don't have that vibrant of orange,
right? And not on a corn chip either, right? Or on something that comes in a plastic baggie, right? Yeah. So the foods you don't want to eat are things that are too much sugar or fake foods. So foods that were made in a factory that don't come from real foods, right? They're made up. So those are the ones that you want to avoid. Do you guys have favorite foods that you like to eat that are healthy?
Yeah, we like to have lots of vegetables like carrots. I like carrots.
Is carrot your favorite vegetable?
Yeah.
I like
What about you, Jen? What's your favorite vegetable?
Cucumbers.
Oh, yum.
They eat seaweed too.
Yeah.
Seaweed. That is a really good one. Seaweed is something that's super nutrient dense, has a lot of minerals in it.
Yeah.
And people used to eat seaweed all the time, and a lot of times, people around the world still eat seaweed, but a lot of Americans don't eat seaweed. Yeah, so that's a good food to eat.
We also like broccoli and Brussels sprouts. I know a lot of people don't like those, but we love those. Especially
those are so good.
Yeah.
Those are the best.
Can you tell us what the Documenting Hope Project is and how it will help us kids? How it will help us kids?
Yeah.
What is the IRP study? And how can And how
I'm not letting you finish, Abdullah, am I? Why don't I let you finish?
Yeah. And how can parents participate in that study?
Okay, so the Documenting Hope Project is it was basically a group of people getting together who said, we have too many sick kids today. The adults have done a bad job of protecting our kids, and we need to do more to help these kids stay healthy. So what can we do? So we decided that we needed to tell everybody about how this generation of kids is sick, but also what we can do to get them better. So we did some research. We're doing some research studies to prove and make people know that if you change the food you're eating and if you live a life with as few chemicals as possible and you do all the healthy things we talked about, like exercise and sleep, if you do that, your kids will get healthy. They can return to health. So the Documenting Hope Project is trying to show people through science that this really happens, because some people don't believe it. Some people are like, is it really worth it to eat organic vegetables? Is it worth it to put in the exercise? And some people don't know or don't believe it. So we're really trying to prove that this is what happens when you really make an effort to eat well and make good choices every day, that you can keep kids healthy and you can prevent them from getting sick. So that's what the Documenting Hope Project is. The CHIRP study is one of the research projects, one of the research studies we're doing in the Documenting Hope project, and it's basically an online survey. It's like doing a video game, except for it's not as fun as a video game, but it's an online survey for your parents to take, and it asks questions. It says, so what are your children eating, and how much sleep are they getting at night, and what kinds of symptoms do they have? And we're going to ask lots and lots of parents about these things, and then we're going to take all that information, and then we're basically going to be able to really understand which things are keeping kids healthy and which things are making them sick. So that's a study that any parent in the United States can take if they have a child between 1 and 15, which means your mom or dad could take it, because you guys are between 1 year old and 15 years old. So we want lots of parents to take that survey so we can learn as much as possible about what it is that kids are doing that are making them healthy and what kids are doing that is making them sick. And we hope to really educate parents about that after we collect all that information.
Okay.
That was so empowering. Everyone, please check out Chirp Study and Documenting Hope's website. Thank you again, Mrs. Lambert, on trying to keep our future bright and healthy. So we as kids need to take charge of our health today.
You are so welcome, you guys.
So remember Miss Lambert's key points. 1, we need to nourish our bodies with the right ingredients, paying special attention to the importance of whole, unprocessed, nutrient-dense, pure foods. Number 2, keep the wrong ingredients out, like fake and genetically changed foods. And third, we need to help our bodies lower stress by incorporating a stress management technique into their daily routine to keep the damaging hormones far away from them. We love meditating and prayer. And make sure we are taking time to go outside and exercise and enjoy nature, and make sure that we are sleeping well to recharge our bodies for the next day. These are things we do. So if we can do it, you can too.
It's true. You guys are the example of how to be a healthy kid. So I think I am so proud of you guys and the choices you make every day. And you are a model for other kids to follow. So keep doing the good things you're doing and making the good choices. And other kids will see how easy and fun it is. And they'll want to follow along.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Mrs. Lambert. Until next time, I am Zain Ansari.
And I'm Abdullah.
Follow my family and I on social media, Holistic Mom MD, and look out for my mom's book, The Holistic RX, your guide to healing chronic inflammation and disease, and the amazing children's book coming out this year, Adam's Healing Adventures. So exciting. Join us next week for another episode on the Holistic Kids Show, where kids are empowering kids. Together, we can keep our future bright.
Because we get you, and when we talk the talk, we also walk the walk. So we know the struggles, because we were like you too until we changed to this. So we know the struggles, but you got this. We are here for you. Real healing for real life.
Bye!
Bye.